In an article called The Last Chance for the Animals, it states 95% of zoos don't release their animals into the wild, nor do they make an effort to breed endangered animals for conservation efforts. After doing some research and reading about how zoos should be banned, I can say I have a good understanding on this topic. Why I feel zoos should be banned is because animals don't have a voice for themselves, so we as people need to be that voice. Every day, people like us are using animals as entertainment against their will. Zoos being banned will be examined by first learning more about what it is and why we should not support it, some solutions to the problem, what things will be like as a result of my proposal, and finally what we can do. To begin, we must learn more about reasons why animals should not be in zoos. We will need to know more about it to fully understand the issue. The exhibits animals are put in are much often smaller than their original habitats. Carnivores like polar bears, cheetahs, and lions are wide range animals, meaning they thrive best in a habitat which allows them to cover a lot of land while searching for food. According to an article called Animals Are Not Meant for Our Entertainment, zoos have been around since before 2500 BC. The first zoo which was the Philadelphia Zoo, opened in 1874. That means Americans have been keeping wild animals in captivity for almost 150 years. An article called Zoos Shouldn't Be Banned says zoos aren't safe for humans either. Some of the animals are not very happy, so they lash out, hurt, or even kill people. Most of the time, the animals hurt workers and trainers. Even though some zoos don't harm the undomesticated animals, they still are not living the life they're meant to live, which is not fair to them. This is important for many reasons. Reason one, an article titled Reason to Rethink Zoos says animals deserve the same quality of life that humans have. I cannot imagine being trapped in a fake habitat, never being allowed to roam outside, and watching people stare and point at me through a glass window. The second reason is studies have shown that stress in zoo animals is caused by either a lack of variety in diet, lack of places for the animal to hide, or relationship problems with their caretakers. Many people are affected by this. For example, zoos have gift shops. At gift shops are all sorts of toys and items, which is just another way for the zoo to profit off the animals they are kept in captivity. According to an article, Why Do We Keep Gorillas Behind Bars? When Harambe got shot because a curious child crawled past a barricade and fell into an enclosure surrounding cage that Harambe lived in. Harambe, which was a gorilla, celebrated his 17th birthday the day before, and in the 10 minutes the two had spent together, Harambe showed no intention of harming the boy, but then in the end did drag him by the leg with the speed and force that could have drowned him or smashed his skull. The article also states that zoo officials chose to shoot Harambe as the only way to guarantee the child's safety, because darting Harambe with the tranquilizer gun was judged too risky because the drugs take a while to work. Now that we know more about it to fully understand this issue and how people are affected, next let's take a look at what I think needs to be done. Many things can be done to change how we treat animals. We must, as a country, stop being selfish and using animals for our entertainment without their choosing. I interviewed a peer of mine named Cameron Grayway and asked her what her opinion was on animals in zoos. She said zoos should be banned because animals deserve to be in their natural habitat and humans should see them in nature where they belong, not caged up. We must make sure the only reason an undomesticated animal should ever be in captivity is for research for their own safety or that they're injured. This can be easily practiced. If animals were not in zoos and stayed in their natural habitat to live the life they're supposed to live, and if zoos were only open for the animals that need the safety for their own good, and once they were to the point of being healthy enough to live in the wild, they would get released. If we were to follow these practices, the animals would be living a better life. And as stated in the first section of my speech, it's not just the animals that are being harmed, people are also being harmed from zoos, especially the workers, so it would be overall beneficial. Also, if we were to follow these practices, we would stop going to zoos because paying for the ticket to get into the zoo is paying for the animals to live at the zoo and be stressed, overwhelmed, and can make them become harmful. Now that you have a better understanding of what can be done and how we can practice these ideas, let's see the results of my proposal. Good things will come with my solution. Animals will be more happy in their natural habitat where they're meant to be. Animals will have the right amount of space for their well being. If change doesn't happen, the consequences will not be good. The animals will have a greater chance of depression and won't reproduce, which could make the animal go extinct. While SeaWorld did announce they were closing a lot of their orca shows and not letting them swim around in their tank without stressing them out before performing, there's still limited space and still stressed out because obviously the ocean's bigger than their cage. After seeing the result of the proposal, it should be clear that zoos should not be supported. In summary, zoos should be banned because they deserve to live the free life they deserve. In conclusion, we have examined the issue of zoos by first learning about why we shouldn't support it, some solutions to the problem, and finally how things will be as a result of my proposal. Every day, people like us are using animals as entertainment against their will. Each of us in this room can do something. We can make sure the word gets around, and the next time you go on like a family vacation, don't forget those animals you're walking around and looking at through a glass window most likely have depression and are stressed. We can decrease the 95% if we ban zoos.
Woo!